Welcome. On this episode of Abby Normal Garage, we go back in time and finish up the deck on our 14-foot Carolina Skiff. For any of you that watched the SS United States move video, you saw the deck clearly in the video, so it's not necessarily an unveil, more of a documenting how we got there type thing. We kind of had to rush to finalize everything before that trip. But anyway, let's just dive right into it. We're back on scene in Norfolk, working on phase 2 of the Carolina Skiff project. Here we are just giving an overview of the work that was done off camera. We welded this rectangular piece of aluminum under the deck because we found that it was too flimsy without it. We also added these 4 lights here. These are going to light the front storage compartment. We've also pre-ran our wires for our courtesy lights. Here we are looking at the wiring harness we ran up forward. I ran a couple extra hot wires up for future expansion. I kind of am thinking about putting some light bars on the front of this boat, but we're not there yet. We went ahead and installed the pickups for the tank. We got our hoses pre-routed. We ended up getting the Raptor line kit. We got the gun. We got Raptor line tenable base. And we got Acid 8, which we're going to start off with first. So I went ahead and shot the first coat on this deck. This is the first time I've ever used Acid 8 before. Goes on really thin, which I thought was a little strange, but we're going to go ahead and put 2 coats on it anyway. My biggest issue that I was running into with this stuff is it seems like it spits, and it was very prone to clogging. And I thought it was just me, so I handed the can over to my dad for the second coat. Like I say, it don't spray where it sprays weird. That's another reason to sand it. It spits too. Now we're going to go ahead and take the DA to this entire thing. I want to say we were using 180 grit, or it might have been 220. But anyway, we just want to get the surface nice and scraped up so the Raptor line has a place to stick. Now that we got the deck nice and roughed up, we're going to go ahead and start mixing up this first batch of Raptor line. I decided to mix it in a separate mixing container, and I also mixed the hardener in a couple stages for some reason. The process is pretty simple. You use the whole bottle of hardener to the 1 bottle of base, and then you also have a bottle of tintable base. This was a GM Ultra White that I decided to go with, which it's a little brighter than I thought, but it doesn't look too bad. Now we go ahead and mix that in. And we'll go ahead and pour this stuff back into the bottle. And apparently you get more than a bottle will take. So we're going to go ahead and shoot this real quick. Now after I fiddled with the gun for a little bit, I finally got it to shoot the kind of the way I like it. So here we go. We're going to first start by doing the edges, getting the coat on them, and then we'll go ahead and do long sweeping passes over the entire surface, trying to keep the paint coat nice and even. This stuff actually goes on pretty well. I've never shot this stuff before, and I look forward to using it in the floor of a truck in the Jeep. Now I did speed this up to 2 times speed. It took about, I'd say, 10 minutes to paint this whole thing. And 1 bottle of this stuff actually covers this deck perfectly. We used the second bottle for the second coat, which we did off camera. Now that we finished shooting the first coat, we'll shoot the second coat off camera, and next time you see this thing, we'll be lifting it onto the boat. Now at this point, my dad's over here lining up the filler neck with the rubber hose on the gas tank. It's kind of a pain in the butt because there's not a lot of room between the deck and the top of the tank to finagle it. It's not an ideal setup, but it's the best we can do. The real challenge came when it came to tighten it up. We went ahead and did that off camera because it took quite a bit. With that filler neck seated on that tank, now we'll move on to putting the screws in.
Missing one?
I got it. I got it. I got it.
Oh, okay.
We got fender washers for these. Well, while Dad goes to scare up some fender washers, let's go ahead and take a kind of a look around on this thing. Here's the complicated mess under the deck. As you can see, there's really not a lot of room to play with down there. Now we're going to go ahead and install the courtesy lights in the backing plate. I've got one on either side. These are held on with 2 stainless steel screws. Now I went ahead and omitted the footage of installing the one on the other side, and I also didn't get any good footage of hooking up the wire between them. So anyway, after this is done, we're going to move on to hooking up our fuel valve, and then we're going to go wire these up into the deck. Now here we are hooking up the wire for the courtesy lights on the panel. If you look in the background where the gauges are, you see that green wire that's kind of dangling out. That's for the fuel sending unit, which we'll install at a later point. At this point in the game, we tuck away our wire, and we also tuck away our fuel hose, and we put the screws in on the left side to hold it. Then we'll run over to the right side and put a screw in over there, and then we'll put all the rest of them in. Now that we have all the screws pre-started in the holes, we use this crap-on screwdriver to drive them in. Here's a close-up shot of the fuel line running aft down the gunnel of the boat. I decided to go with copper line on this. Granted, it's going to corrode and look green, but it'll outlast rubber hose any day of the week. It then goes to a short piece of rubber hose and goes to this fuel water separator here, which has a clear bottom, and to this primer bulb and fuel fitting, which is long enough to reach the main motor and auxiliary. Look at this cute little 44 cubic inch inline 4. These motors are so cute. Now we're up here under the forward seat looking at the gauge panel. The green wire is for the fuel gauge sending unit, which we don't even have a gauge. We need to go ahead and switch these gauges out. However, we're not going to do that right now because they announced the move date of the SS United States, and we need to get this thing ready. And here's Dad talking crap about my lawn and garden battery. I don't know if it's going to go or not, though. Well, we're out here on a beautiful January day testing our J14 now that we've got the deck installed. We managed to put 17.3 gallons in the tank up front, although we probably only want to put 15 in it. If you notice, most of the screws are out of this panel. I noticed when I went to go pick the boat up from my dad's that gas had ran down the deck a little bit there, and when I opened the filler neck, the gas was up to the top of that cap, and it looks like it had been seeping past the hose that goes down to the tank. So we probably need to tighten up that hose as much as we can, if not more. But yeah, other than that, everything seems to be running fine. The motor's doing good. It's about 55 degrees out here. It's a little chilly, but it ain't that bad. Well, let's kick the tires and light the fires. Oh, that's gonna suck to put on the head. I'll stop. Yeah, that one's gonna suck to put on your head. All right, let's try that again. Now that my hands are wet. Yes! Well, we just got done having an awesome meal at the marina. Ain't that a thing of beauty? That's nice. Well, let's see if this thing will start. It's been sitting a while. Heck yeah. That's awesome. Nice. We're gonna let it warm up for a minute and we'll get underway. And away we go. We're underway at the moment. The sun went down and it's gotten quite chilly, so we're really looking forward to getting back on the trailer. We look forward to when it's sunny and 75 and we can do this. But yeah, Everything seems to do good. This tank has been great. This deck is nice. So I'd say phase 2 is done. Well, now that phase 2 is in the bag, let's quickly talk about phase 3. I want to convert this boat to a long shaft and either get rid of this jack plate and put the motor on the actual transom, or keep the jack plate and just raise the transom height. To do that, I'm thinking I'll put a 1/4 inch piece of aluminum on the outside of the hull, 17 inches tall, 48 inches wide, and then I'll come on the inside and do a 3/16 piece that's 17 inches tall, 48 inches wide, and then where the motor would mount, get a piece of rectangular aluminum. And we might even do corner braces, I don't know yet. You can kind of see this little crack here at the base of the transom, although I don't think that's due to the stress of having this bigger motor on here. I think that happened when I had the accident with the transom saver. You can see the transom's pretty solid. You know, I don't think it's in any danger of failing. That might even just be a cosmetic crack, but we're going to stiffen it up anyway. But we'll do that on a future episode. Let's go find Abby and wrap this up. Well, Abby, that was mildly interesting, don't you think? We certainly had a good time with it. We're glad it's done. We're looking forward to strengthening the transom on phase 3, but we're probably going to wait a little bit on that. It's not an urgent thing. Anyway, we've been rather busy lately, and we've also been working on ourselves a little bit, so we hadn't really done a lot of shooting or editing or anything like that. We got flooded with some mowers recently, which that's good, I guess. And now we're working on our neighbor's truck, which is fighting us quite a bit. But anyway, eventually we'll get back on that RJ that we're supposed to be restoring for the Wheel Horse show. So far we got the body work done on the hood, and that's about it. So if you enjoy the content, like the video, share it with any of your friends that might find this remotely interesting, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And we'll see you on the next episode of Abby Normal Garage.